Hey guys, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. Just jumping on here really quickly because I want to talk about some signs and symptoms of disordered eating because I've been seeing it a lot lately on YouTube amongst people who eat a high carb, low fat diet. It's very common amongst the plant based community, unfortunately, but it's also common amongst the majority of people who are trying to lose weight. They want to go on a diet. They need to restrict their carbs. They need to restrict their calories in order to lose weight. And unfortunately, all that does is set you up for a rebound in the future of not being able to maintain that deficit, that calorie deficit, because we're not designed to be in a calorie deficit. We're designed to eat enough carbohydrate every day to fulfill our glucose requirements in our body so that we can produce ATP or energy so that our body can work the way that it's supposed to, so that we have normal thyroid hormone function, we have normal reproductive hormone production, we have normal everything, normal cognitive functioning, normal sleep habits. These all come from eating sufficient carbohydrates. So when you are experiencing um, the following that I'm going to discuss here in a moment, it means that you're under eating, and all under eating means is that you're not giving your body the energy that it needs to function properly. And our body is very smart. You don't give it enough food, it's going to think that it's starving, goes into starvation mode if you're under eating every single day. And what it does is it makes you insulin resistant, and you become a fat storer after you stop restricting, or maybe just increasing your calories a little bit, unfortunately. And actually it's a fortunate thing. It means that your body wants you to live. It's a built-in survival mechanism to get you through a starvation period, and because your body doesn't want to see you starving, it's going to hoard calories in the form of fat after you've hit a wall with that restriction. So let's talk about disordered eating signs so that you can avoid the negative effects of being in a calorie deficit or a calorie restrictive diet. So number one would be preoccupation with food. If you're under eating, you're going to be thinking about food all the time. It's just natural, and a lot of these, they're not like classic cases of like anorexia or bulimia or the clinically diagnosed eating disorders. This just means that you're not eating enough food for your body, and I classify it as disordered eating because when you deny your hunger drive and deny your body the food that it needs in order to work properly, that is a little disordered. So preoccupation with food, and by that I mean you're always thinking about food. You're thinking about, what am I going to eat now? What am I going to eat later? Am I eating? How much should I be eating? Weighing and measuring food is another one. You're always looking at how other people are eating. Um, and a lot of people watch what other people eat for entertainment purposes or to be analytical because they want to see the results that somebody else is getting from the way they're eating. And then there was that really fun show, My 600-Pound Life. I actually enjoyed watching that and eating while I watched it. But you have an over preoccupation with your diet and the food that you're eating. You can't eat until you weighed out your food. You can't eat until you know exactly how many calories are going to be in that meal. You have everything already pre-planned instead of just going with the flow. So food, on the opposite side of that, is food freedom, right? You just eat when you're hungry and you stop eating when you're full. You have an idea like of what you want to eat. So for me, for instance, I eat high carb, low fat vegan, but I eat unlimited carbohydrate calories. So within that carbohydrate umbrella, I eat whatever I want, fruit, unlimited refined sugar and starches, as much as I want every day. And that satiates my desire for glucose and carbohydrates in order for my body to work properly. Okay, so the preoccupation with food, that's a major one. You know, a lot of people on YouTube, I see them doing these excessive meal plans, excessive recipe making, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but then when there's an overemphasis on diluting the calories of the meal, eating low calorie density all the time, and focusing on that for the for the goal of being in a calorie deficit, that's a problem. Using stimulants like caffeine, nicotine, popular a really popular drug right now is Ozempic, phentermine, anything that makes you eat less is a sign of disordered eating because you are intentionally trying to deny your body the food it needs in order to function properly. Then we got tracking calories. So there can be a good part of tracking calories, making sure that you're eating enough so that you're staying out of a calorie deficit so that you know that you're getting enough calories every day in order to fuel your body and help it to burn body fat, right? By staying in a dietary fat deficit, not a calorie deficit. But on the other side, you're tracking calories to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit. I watched plant-based dads do this today because they're full-grown men trying to eat 1,400 calorie a day diets. 1,400 calories a day is likely what my 8-year-old consumes. It's just going to cause weight gain and hypothyroidism down the track. So getting into that, let's talk a little bit more about low calorie density eating. You're diluting all of your meals with vegetables. Nobody wants cauliflower in their smoothie, okay? That is disgusting. Not like just have bananas and blueberries in your smoothie. Add some sugar to taste. Like you don't need to put a whole bunch of vegetables in your smoothie in order to eat less. If you like having vegetables in your smoothie, that's a different mindset, right? But the goal should not be to eat less by putting vegetables in your meals, right? You're eating vegetables because you like them and because they're healthy, not to eat less food, right? Okay, how about skipping breakfast or intermittent fasting, right? Where you're not eating all day and then you eat all of your calories at one time of the day, typically at night. That could be a sign of disordered eating. Feeling cold all the time, that is generally due to a lack of thyroid hormone production, so your TSH is elevated. Feeling empty because you're not eating enough. So that's going to drive that preoccupation with food again. Preoccupation with bowel movements. When you eat enough food, when you eat freely, you go to the bathroom and it's not something that you think about. So this preoccupation with what you're eating and what's coming out of your body is a sign of disordered eating, because food freedom looks like you eat food and then you're done with it. You go to the bathroom and then you're done with it. I've recently been asked a lot of questions about bowel movements, particularly for myself, and I have to think about it like, how many times a day do I go to the bathroom? Because I don't think about it when I do it. I just do it, right? I have freedom. My body just works the way that it's supposed to. And preoccupation with these things generally means that your body's not working the way that it's supposed to and you're trying to improve it, right? So the way that you improve it is by eating enough food. Give your body enough carbohydrates from fruits, sugars, starches every day. It will work perfectly the way that it's supposed to. Okay, I'm just seeing if there's anything else. That's pretty much the bulk of it. The last thing I'm going to say is preoccupation with your body and the way that it looks and comparing yourself to others. So generally people have disordered eating or eating disorders and these XYZ symptoms that I all just went over because they're trying to lose weight, because they're trying to achieve a certain aesthetic, right? Well, the thing with that is that, you know, that's a classic sign of an eating disorder, right? Preoccupation with food, preoccupation with the way that your body looks. These are things that you don't have to worry about when you eat right. And by eating right, I mean eating enough carbohydrate calories every day, um, so that your body has enough glucose in order to function properly. If you want to lose fat on your body, all you need is a dietary fat deficit. And then you just leave it alone and you let your body be where it's going to be at, right? So for most people, that's going to be the normal BMI range. Where in the normal BMI range is going to be dependent on your hormone profile, how fit you are, what your cortisol levels are like. But generally, if you eat enough calories every day from carbohydrates, your cortisol levels are going to be within the normal range. You're going to be sleeping properly. Everything's just going to be working great, and you're just not going to care anymore because you look great, you feel great, you're eating as much as you want, so there's no hangriness involved, and everything is just easy peasy, right? So when people have a preoccupation with food and the way that they look and being in a calorie deficit, it is a sign that of an eating disorder, right? It's a sign that you are intentionally under eating to achieve generally some kind of aesthetic goal, but at what cost? Because there is a cost to it. There's a metabolic cost to it. There's a cost to your body, hormonal systems. There's a cost to your mental health. And there's a cost to your GI tract. You don't put enough calories in, it's not going to function the way that it's supposed to. It's just like everything. You don't put the fuel in, you're not going to have the energy to work properly. A lot of the GI system, it will atrophy. Because it's a muscle, you'll end up with like gut dysbiosis, where your microbiome's off. How about if you're trying to be vegan, you're going to have a really hard time staying vegan if you're not eating enough carbohydrate calories, because those other foods, they're going to look tempting. It's going to be hard to stay away from the fats, actually, if you're under eating on carbohydrates. And the only way to achieve an effortlessly lean, healthy, fit-looking aesthetic that you don't ever have to worry about ever again, it's just gonna look great all the time, because that's what this is all about, is everybody wants that lean aesthetic, let's just be honest. You don't have to worry about it if you eat enough carbohydrates every day and you just keep your dietary fat low. It's simple, and then you don't have to do all this other weird stuff, meal planning, recipe making, stimulant taking, tracking calories, weighing and measuring food, unless it's something that you're curious about in order to make sure that you're eating enough. The last thing I want to talk about is something that Healthy Emmy does, right? You guys probably watch her, is food rituals. She did this whole food ritual. I'm gonna make all my food, and then I'm gonna wait until I'm perfectly hungry, and then I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna meditate on it. And I was just like, whoa, so many red flags here. Why are we just not eating this food? It was crazy to me. And then if you tally up her calorie intake for the day, it's maybe 1,200, maybe 1,500, if that, right? And she's running every day at least a 5K. That's under eating. That's being in a calorie deficit. That is a red flag of something not to do, because you're damaging your body in the process. Okay, that's it for this video. I know I'm running out of time because the baby's gonna wake up. Leave any comments or questions that you have down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Also, let me know if I missed any other signs or symptoms of disordered eating that you guys are aware of that I missed. I just focused on the main ones. Oh yeah, drinking seltzer water too. It's a huge thing right now. It's disgusting. Why would you drink carbonated water that has no flavor to it or sugar in it or anything? It tastes like crap if there's no sugar, right? And then that makes it soda. So yeah, it's just a way to put something in to to make your body think that it's full, right? Same with using artificial sweeteners, monk fruit, extract. Just give your body the sugar, and it will stop the cravings, right? Give your body the sugar and it will actually regulate your leptin levels, which are necessary to be regulated in order for you to have an appestat that works, so for you to have normal hunger and fullness cues, so that your body knows how much carbohydrate to eat every single day in order to keep you healthy, and so that you can keep the cravings for fat away, so that you can burn body fat and be at a healthy, natural, lean body weight just effortlessly. Okay, that's it for this video. Again, thank you for watching. Comments and questions down below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.